Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our /JustNoMil. In today's episode, MIL joked about suing me. Final stand down with Jane MIL. My MIL announced my pregnancy on Facebook. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. MIL joked about suing me. This situation happened about a year ago, and because I'm someone who spent 7 years in therapy trying to learn boundaries and healthy communication, I'm still not quite sure how bad it is and what it means for the future. As background, I've been with my husband for 7 years, married for 1. We used to live in Texas, where his family is from, and my relationship with MIL soured years back. There's a lot of bad blood, but suffice it to say, it stemmed from a severe lack of boundaries and my inability to set them. I basically dropped the rope a few years ago. The situation: DH and I were saving up to buy a house. MIL offered to loan us some money to help with the down payment. This should have been a huge no for so many reasons, but we said yes. We're both people who came from intensely troubled families, and his is particularly codependent/enmeshed. Not long after we agreed to this loan arrangement, DH was chatting with his mother on speakerphone while the two of us were sitting in our living room. The two of them got onto the subject of whether she could trust us to repay the loan. MIL starts into a scenario of extremes. Is it possible you could be a serial killer? Anything's possible. Is it possible that Alex Mara might say, "I can't stand her and I'm not paying her back"? Would I sue her? Yes. Would I win? Yes. With her son, it's anything's possible. With me, it's I'll sue her and win. Folks, I would never dream of not paying someone back for something. I'm not that person. When her son and I met, I was the one who taught him about good personal finances. I've never had a late payment on anything. After she said that, DH let out a one-note breath of a laugh. Then the conversation moved on. MIL asked if I was around, and then she said hello to me and I said hello back. So she knew I had been in the room. I was so shocked by this that when my husband got off the phone, I talked to him about what she had said. He said he was stunned and didn't know what to say when she said that. We had a long conversation about it, and I ended up talking to my therapist about it during our next session. He was stunned and dismayed by what she said as well. I asked my therapist if I should expect more behavior like that. He said yes. I also worked out my goals after that therapy session. The first goal was simple: never enter a financial arrangement with MIL. Ever. Of any sort. The second goal: she was about to come visit us. She lives in TX, us in DC. On previous visits, she would sleep in our living room because we had no guest room. I decided to ask DH if he would request that she stay at a local Airbnb, which we would pay for half of. When he spoke to her next on the phone, I wasn't present. He told her how upset we were about what she'd said to him. He told her we wouldn't be entering the loan arrangement. She told him what she said was a joke. Then he asked if she would stay at an Airbnb, and she said she knew that this decision had come from me as punishment for what she'd said. She told him I was trying to keep her away from him. Apparently, she cried for days after that. DH and I have worked hard on our communication over 7 years, and we're in a good place now. He actually takes my side in things and has become far less enmeshed. But he has resisted therapy. He's fearful of it, which I understand. And there's no indication he'll ever go and see with MIL. Ever since that incident happened, I haven't been able to stop thinking about her joke whenever I think of her. And it makes me anxious about the future, because she's frequently voiced her intention to move near us, wherever we end up moving to when we buy our house. In her more vulnerable moments, she has voiced wanting him to take care of her when she's elderly. She's 64. If things stay as they are, am I headed for another incident like this? Yes, there will be other things she does. Please sit with So and make it clear she will never live in your home. Let him make that clear to her ASAP so she can make other plans. Never threaten to sue someone, even in jest, when they may have input into choosing your nursing home. It makes me roll my eyes so hard when someone claims they cried for days. Your DH should tell her you cried for days too. There will be incidents. But that isn't near as important as how you and DH successfully dealt with this one. More successes in the future will increase your confidence in your ability to handle anything she dishes out. My opinion? Anytime someone says, "I'll sue you," that indicates that they choose the nuclear war option, at which point all further contact is through a lawyer. Hey friend, you should really encourage your husband to consider couples therapy before having kids. Issues like this that aren't handled prior to kids often worsen and JustNoMils become more entitled. Proud of you for setting boundaries. Final stand down with JustNoMil. Here is the text message I want to send to a group chat with my husband and MIL. Can anyone help me write it as to confront her narcissistic behavior and stand up for myself without sounding too harsh? I'm trying to put my foot down for the last time with her. Summary of background. We were cool. She treated me like absolute crap over Christmas and lied about stuff I did behind my back. Good morning. I want to say a few things that I hope will clarify so we can all move on, and no one will like what I am about to say, but I'm willing to let bygones be bygones. This is not an attack. The letter was not an attack. It was a clarification of how I felt, in a way that made me comfortable. I do not feel comfortable talking in person, especially one-on-one, because I feel like that trust one had was ruined over the way I was treated unfairly and rudely over Christmas. I understand that you didn't want to talk to me because, quote, I'm not your child, but I feel as if the respect and feeling of safety in terms of speaking in person was ruined and taken away after I was lied about with no reason behind it and treated crudely and harshly for no reason. I did nothing that should have caused the treatment I received, and only wanted an apology after clarifying the way I felt. I never meant to cause any stress in your life, and I do not want to repeat myself, but I will for the sake of standing up for myself. I never blocked you on anything. To reiterate, I removed my Facebook profile but never blocked your phone number. I didn't receive any text message or call via phone after Christmas, as claimed. There will be no girl time or one-on-one time, because I am not going to risk any ramifications of what I say to be twisted or talked about behind my back without the ability to prove what I truly said. Everything was fine this summer before Christmas, and it all changed. I want to clarify that my relationship with husband does not take him or his daughter away from you, because the vibe I get a lot is that there is fear I'm going to remove them from your life. Whether that is true or not, I'll never know, but I figured I'd clarify. I am very tired of feeling like the villain over the past 2 years for simply trying to communicate the way I do comfortably, writing, and standing up for myself, period. As for now, even though I never blocked you on anything, I will now, because I am removing myself from feeling this way and focusing on growing my own family with husband. His relationship with you and his family has nothing to do with our relationship together, and I'd like to clarify that me no longer wanting contact does not mean that I am making a similar decision for him. I would not send anything in writing. It just gives her ammunition to show around to all of her supporters. She will pick and choose what she reads/believes. What do you expect to get from this? Because you will not change her mind or open her eyes or anything. A narc wants attention, and this just gives her more attention. The only way to deal with a narc is to remove the attention you give them. Go on living your happy life without her. She will not change. Never ever. So stop engaging. You don't have to have any communication with her. You don't have to be angry with her either. You can't be mad at the stove for being hot. It's a stove. That's what it does. But you can stop touching it and should keep your kid away from touching it too. It's just fuel for her fire. Best thing you can do is the gray rock technique. Don't fight fire with fire. Let her burn on her own. This letter will be digested into narc fuel. Print it, burn it, and move on without her. My MIL announced my pregnancy on Facebook. TW. Infertility, miscarriage. This happened last October, but I still need to get it off my chest. My husband and I had been trying for a baby for 18 months when we got pregnant for the first time. I asked my husband to keep our pregnancy a secret until at least the first ultrasound. He was over the moon, literally brimming with excitement, until my blood test numbers came back low. Over the course of the next 3 weeks, I had 6 blood draws and 3 ultrasounds. It was an utter roller coaster, with some doctors telling us to have hope and others telling us it is a likely miscarriage. I told my husband he could tell his parents as he needed a support system outside of me. Every appointment she called me to ask invasive questions that I didn't have the answers for. Finally, my body miscarried. It was one of the most painful and traumatic experiences of my life. The very next cycle, I got pregnant again. My husband and I cried so much. It was like our hope was returning to us. We decided to tell my MIL since we never got to enjoy the pregnancy the last time. She asked if she could tell her friends, and we said sure, but only people that we don't know because we're not ready. She got drunk and posted it on Facebook. I felt my blood run cold. Luckily, I have amazing SILs and an amazing husband who immediately confronted her, and she took it down. Then the next week, I miscarried again. She apologized to my husband, but never to me. All I ever got was, "FIL says you guys are never going to tell me anything now." I got to relive my trauma and tell a bunch of strangers that I miscarried again, and she could not give a moment of compassion. Fast forward to now, I am pregnant for the 3rd time. I left it up to my husband to tell MIL. He did and kept her apprised of any status updates. Once again, we asked her not to share the news until we were ready. She shared the news with so many people, even sending ultrasound pictures to strangers. She invited me to a party when I was 12 weeks. I was having severe morning sickness and told her I didn't want to go. She called me the night before and guilted me into going. Everyone at the party knew I was pregnant. We had not announced yet. People were commenting on my body. She even rubbed my belly a few times, even though I literally had no bump. She is flippant and dismissive over my morning sickness. I just went to my 16-week appointment, and I've literally lost 5 pounds due to nausea. When I went to Easter, she squatted down to eye level with my belly and commented that I still wasn't showing much. Her and FIL both rubbed my belly. She is insistent on planning the baby shower. She was upset that we aren't sharing the gender. I've asked my husband to talk to her. He is really great at managing her. My MIL thinks that we have a great relationship, and part of me wants to maintain that, but I'm so tired of fighting for myself in our relationship. Edit. It seems that I've been unclear. Husband was away for work during both parties. When told about what happened at Easter, he had a serious conversation with MIL. I have not interacted with her since. In past, when there were issues, he has always been able to talk to her and get her behavior to change. What you're describing is not a lovely person. You're describing someone who is incredibly selfish, doesn't listen to your needs, and dismisses your concerns. I'd suggest some therapy starting now, so you can learn to put yourself and your baby first. It's really hard right after birth, and she's not going to care. She's going to care about herself and guilting you into what she wants. I'm sorry for your losses, and congrats on your rainbow. Sorry, but you're partly to blame here. She showed you time, and again, she doesn't respect you, but you keep telling her information. Of course, she's going to tell everyone. It's what she does. From here on, you need to keep quiet. If she doesn't know anything, she can't tell anyone. If she touches you, tell her to stop firmly. Personally, I wouldn't be anywhere near her. If you don't do this now, this lady is going to expecting a front row viewing at the birth. It's great that DH has your back, but he actually isn't achieving any change, it looks like. So he needs to support you in other tactics, like info diet. Using his parents for emotional support is sadly not an option. The woman blabbed over pregnancy number 3 even after the worst-case scenario for blabbing literally happened in your second one. Please smack people or something when they touch you without permission. Best wishes for this pregnancy. ML needs an information diet, maybe even a full fast. Don't tell her anything until everyone else has been told. She is physically incapable of not screaming it from the rooftops. And start setting boundaries. Husband is not good at it. Don't allow her to plan your shower. That should be you and your mom. Don't allow her at the hospital when you're delivering. And if you don't want her touching you, for God's sake, tell her to stop touching you. I saw one person post on here that every time her MIL tried to touch her, she just reached out and started rubbing MIL right back. If that doesn't work, escalate it. Touch her face, or run your hands through her hair, or whatever. Slap her hands. Scream, "I've asked you to stop touching me." Make it clear you won't accept it. You got this. Another case of not being private. You guys don't seem to learn that she needs to be on an info diet. Good luck with number 3. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.